attorney involved, she can have her do that. But to go direct to the attorney, we have no control anymore.
Yeah,
Right.
and we could be left out of a few key things.
Yeah.
possibly.
Right, and that was my thing, is I don't know what they're, like, who knows, they might be on a call for 2 hours talking about who knows what. I mean, I don't think that our attorney would do that, but
We would end up getting that charged.
yes.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, I would say it goes from you.
Okay, so yeah,
See what the problem is and what's left anymore, I don't know.
okay. That's all I was looking for, some direction on that, and with that, I am done. Unless anybody has anything for me.
Do you have anything for Lacey? No. All right, council forum, does council have anything they want to voice concerns, bring forward? Anything brought by residents? Maybe?
I have something. Where are your little cards?
What cards?
We
I
were
have-
so excited. You
We're
fill
not-
out your
we're
little
not quite
cards.
there yet.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
So, the first thing I have, we have coffee with a cop coming up. Jason forgot to say that.
You like coffee, Jason?
It's coffee with a cop.
What is that?
It's gonna be this Wednesday at 8:30 at the Countryside Restaurant.
8:30 in the morning?
Yep. And basically what they're gonna talk about is prescription drugs and how opiates is affecting our area. They're coming from Little Falls, they do them in other towns around Little Falls, and they wanna do them in Motley, so we set one up. So they're coming at short notice, but hopefully if you guys know any residents that would wanna come, should be good information. I think they're buying coffee, but don't quote me on it, I think they are.
Wednesday, July 18th.
Yeah,
8:30 a.m.?
8:30 a.m.
And it is on the website and the Facebook page.
Right, thank you for doing that.
Countryside?
Good job, Darcy.
Good job, guys.
How long a meeting is this?
1 hour.
1 hour.
The other thing we need to talk about is, and well, I'll just bring it up, and then I think we should have it on the council, or on our agenda next meeting, is what we're gonna do with the chief's position. We need to figure out if we're gonna promote Jason or the interim in that, or if we're going to, if we wanna run an ad out. So think about that, and we'll have it on the meeting, we'll have to decide then what we're gonna do. Need to get moving on that. The only other thing that I'd like to say is I appreciate everyone here, just so you guys know. I've been in other cities, I've went to other functions, and the employees we have are outstanding. You guys do a good job, just thank you. And it also goes for you guys, the council. You guys we're a working together council. I hear a lot of bad stuff in other cities, and I'm blessed to have everyone. So thank you everyone.
On that note, I will speak from myself. I think you are doing a great job as a mayor,
Oh, thank you,
keeping things running smooth.
thank you.
You beat me to it, but I was gonna also say that.
Steve, your position isn't up for another year.
I was afraid Steve was gonna tender his resignation.
That was a good one.
That's a good one there. I think that's, the cards. Did you guys bring your cards, or?
I actually forgot mine, but I know all my stuff that was on it.
Okay, anybody
That
else
helps
bring
you.
I
yours?
got 2 out of the 3.
You want some more time, or
Oh, we can go over them.
do you need more time? Let's say you got 2 out of 3 too.
Well, I got some things down here.
Well, it would be good if any of them include money, I can start looking at budget stuff.
Well, I have mine, I don't know.
Well, we do this, we'll go over what we have and then do them again next month.
Okay.
It wouldn't hurt to keep coming up with ideas.
See if I can find mine. I have it here somewhere.
One of mine is already covered in discussion tonight.
One of mine is too, so. I don't know what happened to mine. but I know what they are. So, I'm with Amy, I had it here. Not sure what I did with it. All right, Steve, you wanna go, or
No,
you didn't have nothing? Okay. Amy?
Well, I'll go. So my first one, I'm gonna start at the bottom actually. I have 3 boys, 2 of which love to fish. And being we have the rivers here, I know it's not easy, but I really like how Dower has like the fishing pier where they have somewhere to go. Most of our rivers are privately owned, but it would be so neat if we had a spot or even a riverbank besides the landing where kids could ride their bike and throw their line in and, you know, just somewhere where safely they could maybe do a little fishing or try to fish.
It's funny you brought that up, but it's one of mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
River Beach.
Mhm.
You know, you get down there and it's really, it's this brush, and it's like, there's no reason that couldn't be cleaned up. And I know the DNR is doing, you know, DNR would have to do it, but I think the DNR is willing to do it if the city wants it done.
down where,
Like by our public access, the crowing, and it's so tight, you have one little spot to
Yeah.
put a boat in, but it'd be nice if it was mowed and cleaned up and maybe.
Well, you know,
for
and I
kids
was
to sleigh
even
or-
thinking, you know, the rivers are hard because when the ice goes out, but, you know, even if they had a elevated platform that maybe overhung, but yet was high enough, I don't know, but it would just be kind of neat. The only thing bad about the river access is the local kids from town can't ride their bikes to it or walk to it safely without crossing a highway.
Yeah. But
you
it's
know,
on
that's
that
a good
road.
area also as far as being safe.
Mhm.
You know, it's open and
It's not very deep.
right?
And then the side of, on the other side of the bridge, you know, towards your place, is that all privately owned there? Like where the snowmobile trail and stuff comes around?
Yeah, it's all private until you get across the tracks behind us.
So how about some of that Emery Circle? Is that,
No
doesn't
river.
connect to the river?
There's one for sale back there that connects to the river, but that's pretty high bank. I just thought the DNR, Birga, Herb Birga years ago brought that up. He thought that it should have been, he would like to have that cleaned up and have it for a beach. He apparently talked to the DNR, and the DNR said, well, the city has to request it, and then he's, as far as the river got. So if that, you know, if that's the case, it might be something that the DNR is willing to do, help us out, you know. It would be nice, I mean, even for sun tanning. I mean, you know, people go on beaches to suntan and watch their kids swim, and we don't, we have the spot out there to do
There's
it.
no place down there to really
Yeah,
like sit or,
there's people that swim down here, but,
yeah.
no, that was one of mine, so.
Yeah. The other one that I had was, if we had in any of our parks, if we could have like a community fire ring where, you know, we could have certain nights out where we could have, you know, some of the little kids who maybe are not fortunate enough to experience that. The city could do s'mores, or the city could, you know, roast hot dogs with them, or, you know, just little events where we could have community, you know, little fires and stuff. And then my last one, kind of on the same thing, if the city could invest in maybe a projector, and we could do like outdoor movie nights, or, you know, maybe even movie nights in the fire hall, just, you know, something to get the community involved.
The church does that every Thursday night,
Do they really?
right?
No, I wasn't aware of that.
Outside,
The church down here?
right?
Okay.
Yeah. Free popcorn.
Same way with the picnics, the church over here is doing picnics about every other month, I think, they do a big picnic.
Once a
Is it once a month?
Next one, I think, is on the 8th.
But the fire ring
Yeah.
would be nice.
August 8th, 5:30.
I don't know if that would be a hazard or not, but it'd be kinda cool to have a fire ring, just, you know.
I really like that second one. The s'mores and hot dogs and across the city.
Yeah, it's really
Next to
minimal.
nothing now.
Right.
That's very good.
Cool.
Oh my God.
So my first one was prescription med drop off, which we have now. So then we can scratch that, that would be nice. Then the River Beach, that would be cool. And then the other thing, I had a few people ask me, they keep bringing it up, and I noticed that we have a lot of four-way stop signs here. A lot. I mean, the one street has got 7, I believe, from one end of the town to the other. And I know Brian was for four-way stop signs, because it's a way of not having to do traffic, but I just think that I'd like to review those and maybe take a few of those out, maybe have 2 ways instead of 4 ways, and how do you feel about that, Bruce?
It's pain in the butt sometimes.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have more flow. A lot of time take fourth because there's only one. And then
Right.
even if they take the ground, but stop each one.
I think that a committee, a street committee or whatever, how do we do those? Did you just put those in when he asked
I
the
brought it
council?
to the council and they decided which ones to put in. On third especially was to slow it down because especially down towards the beach. Picking up speed so much.
You could have 2 or 3, 2 in there. But I like the street going to your office, I mean, you have to stop, and there's really no reason to stop on that street, you can just keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I was wondering maybe you, Jason and Bruce could review them and come back next month with a recommendation.
yeah, we'll do that.
I think between the three of you could come up with a plan as to what we really need.
You know, and if I can add to that, you know, just from like a resident side, like, you know, I'm, on each side of me, I got Cedar Street now, which has the 4-way, which I love because it slows down the traffic. And then on the other side is Eldridge. And I'm kind of a little opposite of you. I like the 4-way steps because I see cars fly down Eldridge constantly. Like, because they know there's no stop signs, they don't have to worry about speeds, and I know there's little grandkids at the one house that a lot of times are out on their bikes. So I tend to be a little opposite of you, but, you know, maybe it's something, just keep that in mind if you guys have the meetings. Or maybe if there's a way we can do every other, just so that they're going slower, being more cautious, but yet not, don't just open it up.
Right. A lot of people, a lot of them ain't stopping anyhow, they kind of roll through 'em.
Absolutely.
And it's like,
But I'm
well,
okay with,
then we should go yield. We shouldn't have a stop sign if they're not stopping, we should then go
True.
yield signs,
true.
if that's what we wanna do. So, cool. That's all I got. Yeah? Anything?
Not too much. You guys sort of touched on mine. I'm more general though. I was talking more recreational facilities or activities available for the kids, and summer and winter. You know, because I think back, I remember they used to flood an area over here for ice skating in the wintertime.
You still do?
Do they still do that?
The tennis courts.
You still do that, okay? Things along that line, I mean, something, you know, develop more recreational things year-round. That the river's a good idea.
Make it a fun community where there's things to do for the kids and for the
Yeah.
people.
You know, so the kids are not sitting here wondering what to do all winter. And then in the summer, when they get out of school, they run outside and there's nothing to do. So I was, like I said, I'm much more general. I wasn't, you guys had
No,
some
that's good.
specific ideas to go with. I was just thinking in terms of developing year-round activities. And
Yeah, and
they don't, they can be outside and inside.
There's even maybe something that we could like collaborate with someone else. Like the church wants to do a pick, maybe you say, well, listen, the city's gonna do all this, you know what I mean, the hot dogs or whatever. To help out with that, collaborate with some of these other ones, to maybe help out. Do fun things. And I seen the movie and I thought that was cool, I'm like, I should go to that.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, I didn't know they did that.
Yeah.
Then a couple of mosquitoes are over there.
Yeah.
But they're not terrible.
Anything else?
The one I had that we already touched on was offering help to people who need repairs that we're talking about. They can't do it or can't, you know, because some of these repairs are pretty involved.
Yeah.
So I had that on there. And of course, I had the industrial park on my list that I would really like to see us do something with the industrial park, rather than leave it sit there as an open field for indefinitely. I mean, it's been sitting out how many years? 40 years.
I have found
Decades.
like 12 different occasions over the last like 25 years where the council has tried to look at doing something with it.
Yeah.
And they haven't.
And I would like to break that cycle and actually do something. I mean,
Because
Yeah,
part of it, we
there
have
was
to
a
have an
piece-
industrial park, right? The city has to have one.
I don't know where that's what everybody has said, but I don't know where that's
We should
coming
look
from.
into that and see if it's really required to have one.
when you guys are done,
I was just thinking that we have certain types of businesses zoned in the industrial park, and if we don't have an industrial zone, then those businesses would have to be zoned elsewhere. I think that's the main key to it right there. But if there's more, I'm not aware of it, as far as actually having to have one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, a good start to that would be too, if we're gonna keep it as industrial park, is put advertisement up for it. You know, put some signage, put some, I don't know, you know, whatever.
that's what I mentioned it at the P and Z. I would like to make my card started, is just do it, get something a lot bigger than a 4x8 sheet.
Right.
Get it up there, get it, not just a spray paint, something that looks nice, you know, where all the cars can see it. And somebody's light bulb's gonna pop out there. So let's just do it.
We can also use the electronics, get it on the website, get it on the internet, get it, see if the city's a member of the chamber, see if something we could post it on their website.
Well, and that's actually something that I think, I'm hoping will tie in with the revolving loan fund, is that we might be able to direct that money towards businesses that could also use the industrial park. In 2012, I think that you guys, that the city did a feasibility study of what it would take to get water and sewer and stuff in there. And so we have all that we could go over. I actually asked Darren to put it on the P and Z agenda. So we should keep that conversation going.
So that was the first thing I wrote down, was I would really like to see us actually do something there. Do something that'll be good for the community, because it's, right now it's a field, and that's what it's good
We're
for.
gonna give us some, half of it housing or something, I don't know, or something.
The housing is another consideration. I mean, I know that's not the intended
Right.
use, but I don't think the intended use was to leave it sit there as a field for so long either. You know, so, I don't know.
Those are good things, all of them are.
That's really all I have that I want to bring forward at this time.
I had down community/event center as my number one. I'd still like to see, and even after hearing that there's money bits, I still think it would be awesome. You can incorporate a lot of stuff into a community event center.
See, you're in a good conversation piece, it depends on what's gonna happen with the school. There may be one there,
Right.
you know, so,
Yeah.
The facility's already there.
yeah.
Those are the other two things I have on my list that I didn't bring forward, because the school is tied into the school board.
Right.
And like you say, the community event center, I think it would depend on how we did it. I mean,
You'd have to.
if we did the right planning, I think we could pull it off really good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to do it. You say, you have to really look into it, because they can become money pits.
They are, trust me. Every mayor that has one says they are.
Yeah. And the other one was the historic center. It'd be nice to get just a spot to put all of the history of
Well, yeah.
Molly.
Like a 40 by 140.
Something
something.
big.
No, no, no. I think the Historical Society is talking about that too. I think they're open to, they've mentioned looking at places, but I think it's a financial thing for them too. So we've kind of held off a little bit and see what the school does too, because that would be a good spot for them.
That was the only two I had.
Two thoughts, the fishing thing, both of you, can you legally put a dock out on the river though? I didn't think you could.
No, you can do
You can?
that.
Well, I didn't think you could, because I wanted to do one years ago. I didn't.
Really?
Yeah,
Everybody's got one that I know. up
Well,
and down the river.
you have to get the proper permits and stuff, at least I know on the Mississippi, which maybe has different stipulations. But some of those might be really old. You might be right that you can't put in a new one, I don't know.
They just
Because the
have to-
Mississippi does have regulations on some of that.
They probably have more restricted than the code.
Mhm.
I'll make a note and talk to the DNR and see if what they would, if there's even such thing that they'd be willing to do something like that for us.
You know, if we could get a nice spot, and I'd like that one spot, because, again, safe, but have that, and then, in the same area, if we could get like a big fire pit and everything, like s'mores night, like you said. Even the name sounds good, s'mores, you know, s'mores night out every specific first Monday or what, you know what I mean? That in conjunction with the fishing area would, I think it'd be awesome.
There's parking there already, so that's
You
nice.
know,
So maybe we couldn't trench under the road and have a little walkway. I mean, that would be great for the
There is a
community.
little walkway, but,
Is it?
well, you gotta go under the bridge. You can walk along there, but
Guess I've never,
it's on a tilt. I walk through there a lot. Yeah.
oh yeah, for bicycling, that could be a hang up then.
Yeah. All right, Lacey, are you documenting all these suggestions or perfect? Good. So you can kind of make a list. And we can kind of review them. Does anybody have anything else? And then, let me get my paper out here.
So we can update our list for next month, huh?
Well, she'll have we don't have to do it every month. What you want to. Let's not bite off more than we can chew. All right.
Get started?
So upcoming meeting events, looks like the city office filing is 31st, July 31st through August 14th at 5 PM. City Hall, planning and zoning meeting will be July 31st. That's at 6:30 here at the Chambers. The next meeting is August 13th at 6:30 here at the Chambers. The primary election is August 14, 7 AM to 8 PM at the City Hall here. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
So,
Motion to adjourn by Reagan,
I will second.
seconded by Chase Carlson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion adjourned. Somebody's mad that I can't find my card.
I know, right?